Today, we are going to talk about 10 things that will always work in marketing. So we think this comes at a good time because in 2023, we think things are going to get a lot dicier. I mean, as of this week, as of this recording, Amazon just made its largest cut ever, I think, 10,000 people.
10,000, yeah.
Week before was Meta at 10,000 as well. So we think things are going to get tougher before they get easier. There's a silver lining because these are a couple things that work during tough times. And feel free to share this podcast with people because we think this episode will be a doozy. So I'll start first and foremost. You know that I'm all about connection, even though I'm introverted. So number one is dinner. So some of our longest standing customers have come through hosting dinners, right? They've what you can do here is when you host a dinner, you might have 50% of your group that's customers, and the other 50% might be prospects. And what happens when you do these dinners is that the 50% of customers that actually know, like, and trust you, they're going to automatically sell the prospects on it, right? And so that actually works out really well. You don't have to be fancy. Like I started off my dinners with a half-eaten bag of chips at my old place in LA, and this is when I was like in my mid-20s. So hopefully you can do better than that. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the people that you have at these dinners.
Number two, and keep in mind that this is part one of the episode. Tomorrow will be part two. So we'll go over 5 tactics today and we'll go over 5 tomorrow to make a total of 10. But number two, social platforms have an audience. I was looking at the stat the other day, over 4 billion people are on the social web, which is ridiculous. So whenever you're creating content, go live on all of them. There's a lot of tools out there like the restreams that allow you to go live on all of them at once. And when you end up doing this, you're just going to get more views. It works in marketing. If you are on these platforms, might as well go live and get more people to watch your content. Now, that doesn't mean that, you're not going to get less people over time as your algorithm changes, but going live on them is better than not going live. And you tend to get more views, more reach, more sales than if you didn't do it. And we consistently see that no matter what they change in their algorithms.
All right. Number 3, to build on my first point around dinners, is once you started to throw dinners, focus on community building. And what that means is hosting small events. So small events could be happy hours as an example, right? And you can have someone sponsor these happy hours. And then eventually you can level up into small conferences. And eventually you can level up into conferences with hundreds of people, right? You decide, you pick your poison, you decide what works for you. But I've mentioned quite a bit on this pod that community is a retention mechanism, and like-minded people like to hang out with like-minded people, right? Which is why I'm a big fan of things like this. So community building, that is number 3. Neil?
Number 4, going to conferences. So whether you're speaking or whether you're sponsoring, and it doesn't matter if you're in B2B or B2C, there's great conferences in every industry. The key, though, is you got to go to the right conferences with the right audience. So, for example, if we're selling marketing services to large corporations at my ad agency, NP Digital, I don't want to go to a conference where people are just starting up a business and learning how to create a corporation and get kickstarted. It doesn't matter even if they would pay me to speak. It's not the right audience. But on the flip side, if there's someone who won't pay me to speak, but all their attendees pay $5,000 a ticket to attend, they're all executives from large corporations, and maybe the event is industry related, like a pharma event, and I'm sponsoring it and talking about marketing, or I'm speaking at it and I'm talking about marketing. What we found is you end up generating a lot of customers from those kind of events for both B2B and B2C. There's events even in B2C for things just like beauty or food or whatever industry you may be. And it's a great way to build partnerships or sales. Like we have one client who's in the beauty industry. They go to a lot of beauty events. They've got a lot of their distribution deals and partnership sales from these events. And it's allowed them to scale up to 8 figures super, super fast.
All right. Number 5, last but not least, and keep in mind, we have an episode for tomorrow on this, but short webinars. So a couple episodes ago, we talked about how webinars and white papers aren't necessarily dead, but short webinars, I'm talking 5, 10, 15-minute asynchronously record. So basically it's a video, and you can just send it to your email list, send it to your audience, and focus on value delivery instead of trying to get them to buy your stuff. You can do this once a week or so, or you can do it more frequently if you want. But ultimately, this type of short form content, because their attention spans are getting lower, short webinars tend to work. So that is it for this one. This is part 1 of 10 things that will always work in marketing. And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.